Me 36M and my wife Anna 37F. We are together for 13 years and married for 9. Our relationship was really good. We are both very similar people, share the same hobbies, and since we met we developed a really deep connection. We have 3 beautiful daughters together, 7F, 6F, 3F. Earlier this year, Anna got pregnant again. It was a bit of a surprise since she had decided to only have 3 kids. I always wanted more. She was on birth control and I always wore a condom since our youngest was born, but I was thrilled. Her pregnancy was really difficult. She has diabetes and in this pregnancy, she suffered from preeclampsia. This was by far her most difficult pregnancy and we were both very worried. This brings us to the actual delivery. I was really excited since we discovered that this one was a boy. Don't get me wrong, I love our daughters but I always wanted a boy. When the boy was born, it was very clear that I was not the father. Her son was clearly black. As a side note, my wife is really pale and has red hair while I am blonde and also very pale. I was absolutely shocked. Not only I discovered that the child I was expecting so much was not mine, but I also discovered that Anna had been unfaithful. Apparently, she met this guy in a bar. They got really drunk and had unprotected time. They ended up exchanging numbers. Once she discovered that she was pregnant and the dates matched, she called him, and once he heard the news he blocked her and changed numbers. She only knows his first name, which makes pretty hard to find out who he is. She tried to downplay and said that this didn't mean anything, that she had made a mistake and she wanted us to raise our boy together. I wasn't having any of that. As much as it hurt me, I couldn't stay with her anymore. Enter her parents. Anna's parents are horrible people. I never liked them and they never liked me. They only tolerated me because Anna loved me. They forced me to take their last name, otherwise they wouldn't accept our marriage. Anna's parents are incredibly rich. She was a trust fund baby but still worked her whole life in her dad's 65M company. When they found out that the baby wasn't mine, they flipped. They are absolutely furious with her, not because of her infidelity but because the boy is black. They are openly racist. They demanded that she erase the mistake and give her boy to adoption, which she refused. They threatened to cut her off and disown her several times. Once they realized that she was not going to give up her boy, they did. They cut her off. Her dad removed her from the company and her access to the trust fund she had her whole life was denied. They contacted me and offered me their help in the divorce. They are offered me to pay the lawyers, which they choose and are ridiculously expensive, offered me to pass her trust fund to my daughters, and they also offered to testify against her in the custody hearing. I'm really conflicted here. Reddit, WIBTA, if I accept their offer? Comment 1. Up, just come across your post, know it late but have to have learned from Reddit here. Think it fit better to killed with kindness, torture with success, somehow felt Yoda. If you accept the in-laws help you and your kids will forever be tied to them. Moreover, you admit they're horrible people, their involvement will make it worse. Time to show you're good on your own since the divorce is between two of you /STBXW, not them. Help STBXW to find bio dad if need to. The baby is innocent. Let the girls know what happened. At least try to explain to the oldest. Seek therapy for them. At least their life will be impacted. You need to show your girls the right path of life. STBXW is the mother of your kids. If they grow up knowing you and the grandparents played a part to deny them of a relationships, they most likely will resent you for that. Regarding the trust fund, felt kids should learn to work for what they want and not be handout. But if you really were to accept, well, to a certain extent with condition you deem fit, seek lawyers, perhaps different opinions if needed. Take care. Comment 2. Okay. NTA, because she clearly didn't consider your feelings and then proceeded to lie to you for 9 months about it. I am totally on your side with divorcing her. However, I think her parents are injecting themselves a little too heavily into a situation that they don't really have any part in and are coming off a bit too brutal here. While I do agree you should divorce her and get sole custody, I think completely ruining her life by burying her in legal fees might be a little much. You should take into consideration that while yes, she betrayed you and left a terrible impact on your family, including your daughters because they are victims in this as well, I think the parents punishing her to the extent they want to is borderline extreme. You even said yourself she doesn't have a job and has bad PPD among other mental health problems. Please take into consideration that this might drive her over the edge. She is still the mother of your daughters. Also, reading the other comments, I agree. Please take into full consideration exactly the type of trade the in-laws are bestowing upon you. They seem like extremely vindictive, hateful people, and I agree this might come with extra precautions. Please proceed wisely, and I recommend not making too many of your decisions based on emotion over logic. Best of luck, mate. Comment 3. Yota, if you allow the grandparents to have this much control and leverage over you and your children. Unless you are impoverished and your children have no other means of paying for college, why would you subject them to this kind of emotional blackmail? In essence, you are setting them up for a lifetime of being controlled by racist and uncaring people who are prepared to disown their own child and punish a baby for having a father of a different race. Has it occurred to you that the children will see how their mother is being treated and will then resent you regardless of how much money they get from their grandparents? Further, isn't it up to the children to determine whether they have a relationship with their brother? I'm reminded of one of my friends who was threatened with being cut out of her parents' will because she was dating a Chinese man. She told them keep their money and she went to university with the help of loans and a part-time job. The relationship didn't last, they weren't very compatible and it was their first relationship, but she could maintain her dignity and self-respect even if that meant she didn't have access to a large inheritance, tens of millions. She's been financially independent from her parents all her adult life. Also, what makes you think your in-laws are going to stop at disowning their own daughter? What happens if one of your children dates/marries somebody they don't approve of? What if they have political/religious/social opinions that their grandparents don't agree with? Can you see how you are setting them up for a lifetime of appeasing people for money? Comment 4. I think the only thing you should be considering in this situation is being the parent that your daughters deserve. Have a think about what your daughters will think of you if you accept money in order to destroy their mother and their half-brother. Is it really worth losing their respect when they are old enough to comprehend what you have done? If they don't eventually get that inheritance from their grandparents anyway, the worst thing that will happen is that they will have to work for what they have, like most every other person has too. No big deal, right? Please don't take the offer. By doing so, you are telling your daughters that it's okay to be racist and to hurt the people you love when they behave in a way you don't approve of in exchange for money, and I don't think you want to teach them that. Good luck to you. Comment 5. Unpopular opinion, however, here's my 2 cents, though it sounds like you might have already made your decision. The issues as I see them. The divorce and imaginary money. Prima facie that money is money belonging to your in-laws. The money is not yours and it's not your children's. Essentially, on the facts, you're gambling your family's future on maybes and expectations of inheritance. There have been many people who have regretted waiting on promises of an inheritance that has never eventuated. It's even fictionalized, e.g. Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, Our Mutual Friend, Bleak House. Ask any lawyer, money tears families apart, it doesn't bring them together. There are no shortcuts to divorce. There are no freebies. By accepting this contract with your in-laws, you are making the in-laws an integral part of a divorce that is none of their business. The divorce is between you and your wife. It's you, and your wife's, responsibility, not theirs. And it's you and your ex's responsibility to fund it. If you accept this contract, you will be using lawyers that are not yours, money that is not yours, authority and power that is not yours for what? Revenge? Better dig 2 graves, isn't that the saying? Remember, past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. If you accept the contract, congratulations, you've just sold your children to your in-laws who didn't even like you in the first place. And what sort of power do you have in that sort of relationship anyway? 2. Revenge. Say your children do receive what you are promised, the imaginary trust funds. You say that you're doing this to provide a future and stability for your children, but you need to step back and look at the legacy you would be giving your children. By taking revenge on your wife, through her parents, you are setting the stage for a life of acrimony, aggression and tension between your children and their brother and mother. Just to satisfy your anger and hurt, are you the type of person that would want to do this? After all, your children might end up hating you in the end, who knows? Even money can't guarantee the future. In the end, the future is out of all of our hands. If you must take revenge, take the high road, even if it's harder. Don't you want to sleep at night? 3. In the end, 4 children, all innocent. Let's not pretend anymore that this contract is for your children. Your children as minors have rights, and those rights are superior to yours. They have a right to a relationship with their mother irrespective of your feelings. They have a right to a relationship with their brother irrespective of their grandparents' feelings or yours. Don't make your children the battering ram for your divorce and revenge. The future psychological, social and emotional development of your children is in your hands. Outside of situations of abuse and neglect, there is no such thing as a healthy divorce for children. Ask any child psychologist, there is always trauma. Your wife cheated on you and had a child that is not biologically yours. That is a decision and action that she will never be able to take back. Similarly, this contract with your in-laws is a decision and action that you will never be able to take back. Irrespective of how you have been treated, you have an opportunity here to problem solve and set an example for your children. You have options outside of this devil's contract with the in-laws. You are duty-bound as a father to make those options come about, which, who knows, may involve communicating with your ex and working out some sort of arrangement. AITA if you accept the offer. Thanks you for watching. Everyday new movies. See you soon.